April Board of Education meeting. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Paulette Ofrias.
Here.
Judi Fouchet.
Judi can't tell at the last minute.
Okay. Scott Latham.
Here.
John Crean.
Here.
Brian Tobin.
Here.
In the event of an emergency, visitors are advised that they may exit this room from the one side door which leads directly into the parking lot. In the event of an emergency, everyone is asked to move away from the building. Do not attempt to leave in your automobile since this may cause traffic problems and block incoming emergency vehicles.
Thank you, Patty. We go a little bit out of order when we're lucky enough to have our students do cool stuff for us. So we'll go to the student presentation. Do you want to?
We're going to introduce Ms. O'Neill, and she'll get us started.
Good evening, everybody. So I know the board loves to see students come to their meetings, and I thought since our play just happened pretty recently that you would enjoy having our sixth graders who performed in 101 Dalmatians Kids sing a song for you. So I'm going to let Mrs. Kennedy, thank you also, huge thank you to Mrs. Kennedy and Mrs. Grathwell for directing, and for Mr. Rooney for those amazing sets that he did, and to the kids and the parents for all of the work that they put in. But Mrs. Kennedy, I think, wanted to say a few words.
So this is our sixth grade drama club, and it's comprised of 14 students this year. And we were fortunate enough to have a live in-person production performance this year, and we had two shows, a Friday evening and a Saturday afternoon. And they did really well with the whole production. The community came out. It was just a really great, joyous event for everybody. And we're going to perform for you the opening number and the finale of the 101 Dalmatians. All right, kids, you ready? Yep. Okay. Have fun.
Puppy alico, ring. That's another word for funny, so ring. Such no mention bravery and glory.
Yeah. Impressive.
Who's our audience?
Yeah, that was a. Oh, that was a.
Yeah, I think so.
Thank you.
The last.
Get the names.
Thank you, Mrs. Kennedy. It was great. We really enjoyed it. Don't tell the other students that were here this year, this was the best.
It was an adorable play. My wife and I came out.
It was cute.
Yeah.
Now we'll start the regular meeting. The first item on the agenda is our first hearing of visitors. At this time, we ask that questions and comments be kept to agenda items only. Does anyone care to address the board at this time? Okay, that brings us to our consent agenda, which are the approval of our minutes of our regular meeting of March 23rd and the budget meeting of April 13th, our financial matters, our treasurer's report from March, our monthly budget status report from March, transfers, extra classroom activity fund, and contracts to St. Anthony's School District, and we're surplusing a bunch of stuff. And there's a donation asking us to accept from Ms. Kraling and Peconic Bay Medical Center. They're donating a poster printer along with ink and toner to the Southold School District. That's very nice of them. Along with our CSEs. Are there any comments or questions about anything on the consent agenda? I think I probably did, but... Nobody? Is there a motion to accept?
So moved. Second.
All in favor? Aye. I know I don't have to read this resolution, right, Patty? Because we'd be here for a while. It's our tax anticipation note. And what it is, it allows us to borrow money before we get the tax revenues from the town to pay bills. And I'm just going to read the first part. Tax anticipation note resolution of Southold Union Free School District, New York, adopted April 27, 2022, authorizing the issuance of not to exceed $5 million tax anticipation notes in anticipation of the receipt of taxes to be levied for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2023. And I want to take note, I think I try and note this every year, because of Mr. Scheid and the great job that he's done in our business department. When I was first on the board and years after that, I think we were borrowing $14 million. I think so. We didn't have the reserves that we could, so that's a kudos. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the highest it was, I think it was $14 million one year. And our budget was probably 26 at the time or something like that. Yeah, so well done, thank you. Are there any questions about the thing that we really have no choice for anyway? Oh, you have to do a roll call on this one, right, Patty?
Yeah, you need a motion and then there's a roll.
Who's making the motion? Brian Tobin. And who seconded it?
Second. Scott.
Go ahead, Patty.
Paulette Ofrias,
Yes.
John Crean,
Yes.
Brian Tobin,
Yes.
Scott Latham.
Yes.
Okay, resolution passes, thank you. Old business. Dr. Moore, we have any old business?
No old business.
Superintendent's report.
So I'm going to split mine. I'm going to save the congratulations till later. School events, we have a lot going on. Some of it you just saw, part of the school play. My wife and I had an opportunity to come out. It was a wonderful play. Most importantly, it was great seeing our kids enjoy working together. Our teachers that worked with them did a fantastic job. I got to see them rehearse a couple times. No different than our high school play, which I was also out to see, and the same thing. The nicest part about our high school play for me were the days where I got to come by when they were in here rehearsing, watching them laugh with each other and enjoy each other and learn with each other. Our spring sports season, although it's a little chilly today, is well underway. I've had the opportunity to see multiple sports teams here and over in Mattituck play, lacrosse, baseball, both boys and girls lacrosse, baseball, tennis today, track and field, and it's great to see them out there and active, really very different than a couple years ago. Our classes it's going fast, and you see the kids wearing their college sweatshirts, the seniors, because they're committed now and ready to go. And we're watching, senior seminars and our virtual enterprise seminars. And it really is an impressive thing to see a 17-year-old stand up there and talk about an internship that they did with an attorney and legal briefs that they helped draft and all of the different things and the websites they put together. So we have a lot of great stuff going on, and the different school events are really, they're ratcheting up, and they'll do that until the end of the year. And I look forward to seeing the rest of them. And it's this is my first time really seeing it this way, because last year, my first year, was in a pandemic, so everything was modified and everything was a little bit different. The spirit of the kids was no different, but all the activities were. So it's very nice to see, and it's enjoyable, and most importantly, it's enjoyable to see them interacting with each other.
Thank you. That brings us to personnel. We'll do 11.1 and 11.2, and then we'll do the last one separately. Employees leaving the district retirement is Drew Averett, effective December 31st, 2023, and Steve Smith, retirement effective January 31, 2024. And then employees entering the district on a part-time temporary basis are election workers for the budget vote. Coaching Dave Rydell for junior high baseball team, substitute aide Lisa Park, and then we have an elementary after-school activities, Kelly Hilary, Patty Mellis, Deb Kibbleman, Beth Weinberger, Jen Kennedy, Ginger Johnson, and Jen Drower. Are there any questions or comments on those? Is there a motion to accept the superintendent's recommendations?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
All in favor? All right. I'm going to turn it back over to Dr. Morrow, and then we'll do the motion.
So tenure. Tenure is a wonderful accomplishment. Tonight we get to recognize Terrence Rush, our high school principal. Terrence has been with us for 4 years. It probably seems longer than that, the last couple. I've had the pleasure of working with him for 2 years. Immediately I was told that he went to Chaminade, and having graduated Iona Prep, I disliked him right away, but that changed very, very quickly. Very, very quickly that changed. Things that I learned about Terrence in the past year, whether it was a 1 o'clock phone call because the police had information for us, or him standing and counseling a student that was upset about something in the hall, or showing up at sporting events after the school day or on the weekends, or organizing something that we may have needed for Monday in the middle of a pandemic that none of us really knew how to do over the weekend. His work ethic, his dedication to his job, his willingness to put optimal effort forward was evident from day one, from the day that I met him. I'm, grateful for the opportunity to have worked with him for 2 years. And, for me, coming from a business background, everything is, I look at everything with a value-added approach. And, if things add value to your community, then they're worthwhile and they're good. Terrence clearly adds a great deal of value to the Southold community. He adds value to our kids' lives every day, our teachers' lives every day, and in turn ours. So I could not more resoundingly recommend him for tenure. And as I said, I'm grateful to have the opportunity to work with him and to see him work with our kids in a way that matters and really means something to them.
Where did that 4 years fly by, huh? Wait, we didn't vote yet. Is there a motion to accept Dr. Morrow's recommendation?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Congratulations, Terrence Rush.
Before we go, though, I just want his parents to see this little clip that kind of epitomizes what Terrence is kind of willing to do.
Why, we were just playing, weren't we? Cute little puppies. Ah! She tried to make a coat out of us. Muffin boots, too. Nose guys tried to bonk us on the head. The game is over, Koala.
Oh, we're on to your evil scheme.
That's right, you evil woman. How could you be so mean to such cute, defenseless little...
Come over, Horace. It was your two's idea all along. I tried to stop him, officer, but... Ah!
Enough of this! Down to the station, the three of you.
Yikes!
Help here, officer?
No. These dogs are ours.
I could use a little assistance, if you don't mind.
Well, we don't want a good neck going to waste, can we?
What do you think, cocos?
Much obliged.
You fools!
Happy to help.
Off we go!
Watch the hair! Watch the hair!
A fine example of two of our administrators.
Clearly, though, it shows the willingness to participate in a way that that engages kids and makes them happy. If you're going to work with children, especially younger children like they volunteer to here, you're going to embarrass yourself once in a while. And if you're not willing to do that, then it's not the right place to be. And clearly, Terrence is willing to do whatever he needs to do to get the job done.
Congratulations. That's cute. All right, now we just have some other little stuff. We need a motion to approve the Southold JV Quiz Bowl team, who will be attending the Academic Quiz Bowl National Academic Association competition in New Orleans, departing on Saturday, May 28th, and returning Tuesday, May 31st. Is there a motion?
Second.
All in favor? Now we have to vote on the BOCES administrative budget. I didn't look at it, to be honest with you, but I would vote in support of it. I don't know if somebody wants to make a motion to vote on it. Nobody's going to make that motion?
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Anybody opposed? Okay, and there are 6 individuals running for 6 seats on the BOCES board. And I know several of these people, and they're really good folks, and a couple of them are local that help us out on this North Fork. I know Lisa's been to 1 or 2 meetings in the last few years, and she's been on that BOCES board, I think, for over 20 years. And she does a great job. I believe she's the president of the BOCES board. So they are Linda Goldsmith, who's from Oyster Ponds, William Haesang, who's from Riverhead, Lisa Israel from Greenport, Fred Langstaff from Sayville, Norman Wagner from Central Islip, and John White from Bridgehampton. And I think 5 of the 6 of them have been around BOCES for a long time. Is there a motion to approve them?
So
Is there a second? Scott, all in favor? Aye. New business? Finance Committee? You guys had nothing, right? Not till the end of the year. Building Committee?
Nothing to report.
Policy?
Nothing to report.
Okay, that brings us to our second hearing of visitors. At this time, we will take comments and questions about agenda items or any kind of school matters in general. Would anyone care to address the board at this time? Just come on up and state your name and where you live at the microphone. You may have to turn it down a little bit.
Hi, my name is Laura Clary. I live on South Harbor. My husband and I own Blossom Meadow Farm in town. I would like to start off by reading a letter to the editor that was in Suffolk Times paper on April 21st to just kind of set the discussion. So this was written by John Carter. The title is Enjoy the Night Sky. I am actually the chair of the North Fork Dark Sky Coalition.
Did you speak here a few months ago?
Yeah.
I thought you looked familiar. Okay.
Good. So the letter is the following. The Mattituck Park District deserves a star for good public behavior, and the North Fork Dark Sky Coalition wants to make sure it gets it. Last February, we asked the park commissioners to do a survey of the district's outdoor lights and their use and compare the results to the Southold Code, Chapter 172. That is the long-standing town code that specifies how to reduce artificial light pollution. The park commissioners welcomed our request, saying it's the responsible thing to do, and we're trying to lower energy use because it is a big district cost. By March, park commissioners and personnel had identified outside lights they could turn off and turn them off. Lights required for security were shielded and given motion detectors to protect the night sky and meet town code. Those acts make an immediate and lasting difference. The district is continuing to look for ways to minimize its artificial lighting impact and reduce energy costs, and it plans to share its results. This is a shining example of good public behavior. You're right, I came...
Can I interrupt you for one thing? Was it the park district or the school district?
This letter is about the park district.
That's what I thought initially, but when you kept saying district, I wanted to be clear. Okay.
So I came before you on January 26th and presented a letter on behalf of the North Fork Dark Sky Coalition about the Southold schools lighting violations. And it took many hours to write that letter and get the timbre right, and then come and present it. And at that meeting, you said, wow, great that you came and presented the letter. So then the next day, I emailed it to Dr. Morrow, and he said, thank you again for the information. We will look into everything and make any necessary changes. I then followed up again on April 4th with an email, and got an email back saying, thank you for your email. I will get an update for you. So here it is, end of April, and it's been 3 months. Mattituck Park District did the right thing, and I'm really hoping that tonight I can hear that you are going to be turning off the redundant lights and replacing the other fixtures with shielded fixtures.
I think it's fair to say that we can't tell you tonight we're going to do that. Things in a school district take months, if not years, to happen, and I don't think it's fair, to be quite honest, to compare a school district our size to a Mattituck Park District. I'm familiar with the areas of Mattituck Park District, so there's a little bit of a difference between a school and a park district. So I don't think you're comparing apples to apples and how quickly things can get done. I don't want to be confrontational. I appreciate what you're doing, but to expect 3 months is nothing in a school district getting things done.
So can I'm sorry, what'd you say? Oh, okay. I didn't get an opportunity to email you over my vacation because I took time off, but that's when the attorney that I contacted to find out what we were supposed to do got back to me. We're going to have our architect come in and evaluate our lights. We unfortunately are responsible to the town of Southold and to the New York State Department of Education, and their guidelines don't necessarily correlate. So where the town of Southold might want the lights turned down, the New York State Department of Education may say we have to have ample lighting to keep things safe. So we have reached out to our architect who's going to come in and evaluate our lighting and give us an idea on what we're compliant and safe with and what we need to change.
There are exemptions in Chapter 172, but it does not exempt
We're not
school
exempt.
districts.
No one ever said we were exempt. I believe what I said was, we are obligated to comply with the New York State Department of Education guidelines and the Southold Town guidelines when it comes to lighting.
Right, Chapter 172.
There are exemptions in other areas which are not what I'm speaking about. What I'm speaking about is lighting. Lighting we're not given exemptions for certain things, but we do have certain requirements from the New York State Department of Education as far as what is lighted safely. So we're going to have a professional that knows what both sets of guidelines are come in, because I don't know what they are, and evaluate all of our lights so that he can tell us what we need to do.
So what is the timeline for that?
I don't have one.
Who are you working with, and have you started this process?
We have a district
other than-
architect, yes, we had, yes. Yes, we have started the process. Otherwise, I wouldn't have answers for you. But again, it's not as quick a process as it sounds like you would like. Or maybe it's not as quick a process as I might like. But yes, we have absolutely started the process. And I will be happy to keep you informed as we go through it.
It's just not the coalition that cares about how unbelievably bright all these lights are. Even on Facebook, Suffolk Times wrote an article about how Southold Town is now sending out letters to all the electricians, landscapers, security companies, and building supply stores about Chapter 172. And in the comments, one guy wrote, "One of those letters should go to Southold School District. The lights facing south are enough to create a shadow as I walk across my backyard." I mean, like, just to be a good neighbor, it needs to be it needs to happen soon. So what is the time frame?
We don't have a time frame. I didn't have one just a little while ago. I don't have one now for you. We would love to get it done as soon as we possibly can. But again, like I said, we are responsible to comply with New York State Department of Education and Southold, not one or the other.
So, as I sent you an example of a school that updated their lighting to fully shielded and is dark sky compliant, which was Spring School. All their lights are dark sky compliant now, and they obviously are a school too. So I don't understand how you're. What?
I don't know anything about Spring School.
I sent you the pictures.
Yes, I don't know the Spring School. I know you sent me the article and the pictures. I don't, the Spring School, how many students are there? What size are their buildings? How high are their lights? What areas, what evening activities do they have? There's a lot of things that I don't know about them that I would need to know to tell you whether their lights are correct.
So have you taken any other action other than contacting this school architect?
We've contacted our school architect, and we also had a lighting person in.
All right, I'll keep on coming back, but, it saves money to turn lights off, and so it just seems like a good fiscal decision as well. So, you were happy when I came at the end of January, and we took our time out to come.
And we appreciate,
So I'm just,
We appreciate that, but
Yes.
at that time, we didn't say this was going to be done in 2 or 3 months, and maybe you misunderstood or I wasn't clear, because I've been around a long time, and I know how long it takes things to get done, not because the district doesn't want to get them done, or somebody doesn't want to get them done, or there's not a million fires to put out between now and then. So Dr. Moore explained to you a few times now, he's working on it. You have counsel you have to go through, you have your architect you have to go through, because we call them doesn't mean that they come the next day either. We've had projects in this school that have literally taken years to get done, which we all think would get done in a few months.
these were put up in violation of the current town code. This
But you
code has been
understand
around
that
since
we
July
have to serve-
2010.
We have to serve two masters, because everything that we have to do has to be approved by state ed. If we
State
want-
ed is,
Oh, just listen for 1 second. We want to put a portico out the end of the building. It's a welcoming roof over so you're not standing in the rain to get in. We have plans drawn for that have to be approved by the town. They also have to be approved by the state ed department. They've been at state ed for almost 2 years.
lighting is not a state ed issue. I assure you, when it comes down to everything, it's going to go back to the Chapter 172 of the Southold Town Code.
It may well, but we
So-
still have to run it through state ed.
I'll be back.
Please come.
But I am shocked at how long just even talking about this has taken. And I would think that we would all be on the same side on this instead of talking about state education association. So, thank you.
Thank you. Does anyone else care to address the board at this time? Again, just please state your name and where you live for the record.
Adam Supernant, Southold, New York. Were the current lighting plans approved by the State Department of Ed?
All our plans are approved by the state ed, yes.
Okay, but was there a lighting plan for the new lighting that was put in 2 or 3 years
State had
ago?
approved that whole project when that was done.
They approved that whole project.
It was all part of the bond project.
And that's a matter of public record? We can look that up? Okay, because my concern is, I'm a taxpayer, right? And I pay for the school. And I'm worried about that this board is setting up the district for a potential fine of $750 a day for non-compliance with the town code. Now, you can say that the Department of Education is hamstringing you, but when I drive by Greenport School, I don't see the same types of lighting around their building. That's Greenport High School. When I drive by the Mattituck High School, I don't see these types of lights around the Mattituck High School building. I see lights, and what my wife is saying is not no lights, but the light should be in compliance with the town code. So now, I think that if a complaint is filed, and nobody's threatening, okay, but somebody could file a complaint, but I'm worried that you're setting up the district to a $750 a day fine for noncompliance. That's a day. And so every day you wait on this, the $750 adds up, and we, the taxpayers, have to pay that. So I'm hoping that perhaps you could move this issue up to the top of the stack or close to the top of the stack and get some action on this. It's just a matter of turning off the most egregious lighting that was put up by PSE.
Sir, what lights are you speaking of specifically?
The PSE&G lights that are on the light pole. They're very, my wife can...
Here or at the elementary school?
Here.
And what's a PSE&G light? Are those
So they are the rectangular, very high output lights that are not shielded, that, basically make your parking lot like a sports stadium.
You're referring to the parking lot lights.
The parking lot lights,
Not
but
the
there
building lights,
are
the parking
others, but I mean, there are lights you need for security, absolutely. So nobody's denying
Now,
that.
these aren't the ones that are between the two schools, on
Yes,
the
that's what he's
posts?
talking about, I think.
Those
They're-
are shielded correctly, correct?
The two PSE&G lights that are on the utility poles, they're in the right of way. They are illegal. They're supposed to be shielded and facing downward. And the output, the output is way too high.
So these are the ones that are up really high, not the ones that are on their own light post.
Those also are a problem because they are facing at an angle and they are also very high output. But the two most egregious ones are the ones that are on PSE&G utility poles. And Southold School actually had businesses call up PSE&G to put up those types of lights.
Okay.
I actually measured the foot candles that goes into the roadway, and the trespass can't be more than 0.5 foot candles, and it was over 10 foot candles.
Okay. I just wanted to, I
Yeah,
wanted.
so I mean, those,
All the letter in January.
so what we're trying to do is, there are fixtures that are in compliance that you can install, and I don't know why it would require a whole plan with the Department of Ed. You could merely replace the existing fixtures with the shielded fixtures that are dark sky compliant and achieve the same security goals that nobody wants to see anybody in a dark spot, at risk of a criminal act, okay? But I would think these changes are minor and they require some funds, but they don't require a wholesale redrawing of the lighting for the whole, campus. So I'm hoping that you guys maybe could move this to the top of the agenda, and I would expect it would be low cost. Lighting and electricians, yeah, these days, you can't get a plumber to your house for less than $300. So I get it, but the alternative is a potential $750 a day fine in my mind. So thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. Would anyone else care to address the board at this time? Mike, is that you back there? You want to say anything? No? Okay. All right, if no one else cares to, we'll go to our board member commentary. I bet Mr. O'Cool is at a baseball game.
Yes, on Shelter Island.
Lucky guess. Mr. Latham?
Just congratulations to the robotics team. They did well in Houston, and it's just a lovely testament to a small district, and a couple of small districts, because it hasn't been that long that we've had, it's only been 4 or 5 years that we've been teamed up with Greenport, as I recall, but they do a lot of great things for a short bench, so to speak, but it's great to see everybody out playing sports, and spring is sprung, and it's a great time of year. That's it.
John?
Congratulations to Mr. Rush, and graduation will be here soon enough. Wonderful.
That's it? Brian?
Echoing what Scott said, congratulations to the robotics team. That's quite an achievement, like you said, for such a small district. And the impressive part is they repeat. And congratulations to Terrence. Like Tony said, you've been an asset since you arrived on campus, and we look forward to working with you longer.
Thank you. Like everybody said, congratulations to robotics. The VE team were amazing. The Quiz Bowl going to New Orleans, we do some really good stuff. And this is always a busy time of the year with sports and all the exciting things that go on. Terrence, congratulations. We kind of knew from the beginning that you were going to wear that red good. And your parents have showed up to all the important things as well. Thank you for doing such a fine job raising him, and that he fits in the Southold family quite well. We have a great administrative team. That little thing from the 101 Dalmatians really shows that we do everything in this district, and we're real proud of most everything that we do. I'm going to remind everybody we have May 4th, our budget meeting and a work session. The budget vote is Tuesday, May 17th from 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. in the high school gym. Please come out and vote. May 25th is our next regular Board of Education meeting. And I just want to thank everybody for coming and your comments. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.